Thank you. I'm Jerry Rudisin, CEO of Flybits, a unique enterprise cloud service provider. Retail banks, insurance companies, almost anybody who deals with consumers has to engage with them today through mobile channels. It's how millennials learn to bank and increasingly how many customers prefer to bank. How do you make mobile really work for you? You want to stay away from a bland, generic app or a web page that isn't customized. What you really want to do is to offer a truly compelling, individualized service, a personalized experience. You'd like to take all the available information about the history, the circumstances, the situation of a consumer, and use that in real time to understand what they're doing, where they are, what they care about, and render an experience that really is meaningful to them. That's how you personalize and win with mobile. How do you get this information? Well, you have a lot of it in-house. You have information you can take out of its silos and put to good business use. There's lots of information available through public sources, LinkedIn feeds, social networking feeds, weather information. And today's cell phones and other devices have a rich range of sensors that you can use in real time for things like location, battery level, bandwidth, connectivity, even whether a consumer is moving or driving or standing still. Flybits makes it very, very easy to take your existing app and make it a truly personalized experience. Here's Hossein to give you a flavor for how.
Thank you, Jerry. A lot of us believe that apps will be going away, and we are looking for these types of concierge services that can adapt based on our context. So the question is, how can large institutions, financial companies, insurance companies, create their own version of Google Now, Siri, or Cortana? So Flybits provide the tools that you can build your own version of concierge services. What we do first is that we allow that all the data inputs that you need, internal data, external API, sensory inputs from your devices, to become aggregated in a context hub, irrespective of the data structures that you use for your APIs. So think about it as a context app store. Anything you can sense from your phones or wearables, internal secure data, external social networking feeds, can all be aggregated in this repository. And then your organization can go and create new experiences for your customers and your employees and make the application or the service adapt. So for example, I want to offer a mortgage service to someone who is a pensioner that is coming from an internal API, and I want to make sure that their mortgage is actually up for renewal in 60 days. That's another API that I'm calling. And I want to make sure the person I'm offering to this has a good credit rating. So these are all microservices that Flybits orchestrates and allows you to bring them all together. Let's also say that I want to make sure that the person is walking to my branch, so I'm not bugging them if they are driving, and they have not a very busy day, so I'm not bugging them if they are running to a meeting. So I want to make sure that they have less than 3 events in their calendar. I don't see what those events are, but I want to make sure that they have it available. And then when that's done, I can create that rule, and I will call it the Finovate rule, and I will add it to our rule repository. So think about a collection of rules that you create, and they start to learn from the behavior of your customers. And then, although you have one application, all of these entities are mapped with semantics and logics that when you bring that application there, it will start to adapt accordingly. So if I go to our Finovate zone, these are all the lightweight components that we have activated, and if all of us go to a branch, we will see very different information showing up on our handsets based on a number of contextual data. So for example, we have access to a library of object builders that you can build applications with, ranging from galleries, hours of operation, social media, mortgage offers, and we provide tools that you can build your own moments. These are lightweight modules that you can drag and drop on an application, similar to what I do now, and then target it to a group of particular users, so only those people can see it. Let's say I want to offer a credit card offer to someone who has a good credit rating. So I go to my moment builder, and I will associate that with a rule with a high net worth individual. So only that person will be able to see that on their phone, and I can make this more complicated as needed. Or think about use cases that I have a payment gateway, and based on the loyalty programs that I'm part of, I will get a recommendation from my e-wallet in terms of what credit card I want to use. So if I go and tie this back to a loyalty rule, we have a number of them in our repository, and you can create your own. So now, only I will get a recommendation that in this particular situation, it's better to use this credit card. You can do this for all the entities that you have as part of your infrastructure, and you can map them very effectively. Each context plugin that you activate will give you access to a number of data sets in form of analytics. You can use it for reporting purposes in terms of understanding your users and their behavior, and you can integrate it with your external big data platform to make the data more insightful and contextual. You can also use it to understand the pathways and movements of your customers while they're protecting their privacy, to be able to understand, for example, what does a high net worth individual do after they leave the bank or a branch, and be able to figure out patterns out of that. The last thing I'll show you, if you switch to the phone on the overhead camera, this is an application that is acting as a concierge. Although it looks like a generic banking app, all of its components are very dynamic. So if all of us use these applications, the components that we see in the app will be very different. Thank you very much.